Hi fitness friends! Today I'd like to discuss a couple of myths when it comes to fitness. Now the first thing is something that I hear a lot, and I'm sure that you've heard it before too, is that 1 pound of muscle weighs more than a pound of fat. A pound is a pound. It doesn't matter, what it is. I think the thing that individuals tend to confuse here is that muscle is more dense. So it's going to take up less space than a pound of fat. So a pound of muscle, a pound of fat. So muscle is going to take up less space than a pound of fat. And I don't know about you, but I would rather weigh a little bit more and be, more of a tight-toned body than to be fluffy and take up more space. So to me, looking at that number on the scale isn't necessarily a good gauge of progress. So keep that in mind. A pound of muscle takes up less space than a pound of fat. So if you ever get to the point in your weight loss journey where maybe you hit a wall when it comes to that scale moving, take a look at how your clothes are fitting, because if you're still dropping inches, what's happening there is you are probably losing body fat at an equal rate as what you're gaining in your muscle mass. So that brings me to the next topic, is that fat is converted to muscle. That is not the case. Fat is made up of lipids and muscle is made up of amino acids. They're two separate items. There's no way, they're not interchangeable. So you can't change fat to muscle and vice versa. The thing that happens that people probably relate this to is the fact that if maybe you were more active in high school and you had more of a tight-toned body, and then you start to become less active, but maybe you still eat the same, so you're going to start storing some of those calories instead of burning them off. And with muscle, if you don't use it, you're going to start to lose it. And as we age, our muscle mass starts to decline. So it's really important to be proactive and to work on incorporating strength training into your routine to prevent that muscle wasting and to maintain that throughout your life. But muscle is separate from fat. It cannot be interchanged. It doesn't switch from one to the other. If you're gaining body fat, it's because you're less active or you're eating too many calories. You're consuming more than you are burning off. Simple as that. They're not interchangeable though. And the last thing I'd like to discuss is the concept that lifting weights makes women bulky and huge. And that can be further from the truth. A lot of times if you ask a woman what she's looking to achieve when it comes to fitness, it's to look tight and toned. And maybe they don't want to go to the extreme of being super defined as you would see in a competitive bodybuilder. And that's okay. If you aren't trying to do that intentionally, there's no way you're going to look like that ever. You're not going to have the amount of testosterone or the genetics in order to do that. You may be more prone to gaining muscle a little bit faster than the average female, but there is no way that you are going to look like a bodybuilder unless that is your goal and you are trying really, really hard to do that. Now, lifting weights is going to give you that tight-toned body. If you are constantly being a cardio bunny and going on those cardio machines, what you're going to get is skinny fat. I can't even do it. But like when you're waving and that arm's still going and you stop and it's wobble, that's what you're going to have. You're going to be thin, but you're not going to have that tight look. You're not going to have the little bit of muscle tone under there. You're going to have that loose skin. And how are you going to lift up that loose skin? By picking up a dumbbell and gaining some muscle mass. Don't be afraid of picking up those weights. It comes from experience with me. I was a cardio queen when I first lost over 130 pounds. My first goal was to run a half marathon. And after I did that, I still had the flabby booty and thighs and and no upper body, little noodle arms, and I didn't like how I looked. So what did I do? I picked up some dumbbells and I started lifting weights, and I started to feel strong and powerful, and that was my goal. So lifting weights is not going to make you huge. It's actually going to make your body turn into a fat burning machine, because the more muscle you have, the more calories you burn when you're active, and more food you can eat. And who doesn't like that? So don't be afraid of lifting those weights. And muscle does not convert to fat. And 1 pound of muscle weighs the same as 1 pound of fat, but it is more compact. Those are your fitness myths for the day. I'll see you soon. Keep smashing those goals.